My name is Chicoro, and today I want to talk about some questions that I've gotten in terms of porosity, in terms of dryness. And porosity is not the same thing as dryness. Those are all different characteristics. They're two separate things. Porosity defines whether or not the hair structure is in place, if the hair has been damaged. Dryness is a feeling that we as consumers, especially women with afro-textured hair, tend to identify with our fingers and with the way our hair feels and how our hair looks. And you can have hair that has a very low porosity, and yet and still the hair can look and feel dry to you from a consumer perspective. This perpetual dryness that many of us have with curly hair, afro-textured hair, is the reason why I went ahead and did something that I called how to strategically seal the hair. And what I decided to do was to go based upon evaporation rates. And so the first layer that I would put on my hair was water, something that was water-based, either water or aloe vera, or something very liquidy, because water evaporates quicker than the other components. The next component I would do is I use an oil-based type of product. It can be a straight oil or a mixture. Anything, you can even mix the oil with the water-based product or the liquid-based product. And the third thing that I would use is I use something called an emulsified product. And that simply is an oil plus liquid put together or held together by an emulsifier. An emulsifier can be wax, it can be butter, it can be gum arabic, anything like that that can hold the water and the oil together. But I called it an emulsified base. Many people call this a cream. So what I've been seeing is people call this method that I call how to strategically seal the hair, they call that the LOC method, LOC, liquid oil cream. But again, it's the same thing, but it's liquid oil and an emulsified type of product or a cream. And again, the reason behind this order is because these products or these components have different evaporation rates. So what you're doing is you're layering the hair strand with first some type of liquid, and then with an oil, and then with the cream, so that you can seal in moisture. And really, the moisture doesn't really go deep within the hair strand. It stays pretty much on the surface. But as a consumer, it feels like the hair is moist, and it feels softer, it looks shinier, and it feels like the hair strand is wet on the inside. And again, this is something that works on the surface of the hair. Afro-textured hair can be perfectly intact, perfectly healthy, and still, from our perspective as consumers, it can still feel dry, and it can still feel like it lacks moisture. So I want to make sure I differentiate those two things. And the other thing, people may say, well, why is afro-textured hair so dry? And there is some information that I have read about. People of African descent came from a tropical place. And during the time of our development, the main thing for people was that our brains needed to be protected. So in this very hot environment where African people were developed, the goal of the survival capacity or the survival mechanism was to make sure that the brain stayed cool in this very hot environment. So therefore, we developed physiological characteristics to support that, as well as to make sure that we could go ahead and survive in our environment. So therefore, hair, afro-textured hair, is hair that allows the brain to stay cool in a very, very hot environment. So therefore, the hair is made to lose moisture very quickly and thus keep the head very cool and thus protect the very precious brain that we all have above our shoulders. Okay. Before I go, I want to go ahead and let people know what I use. And I use really simple products. And the reason why I do is because I used to work in different countries, and so I wanted to make sure that I could continue my regimen without interruption, without stress, and focus on my job without having to worry about somebody importing or sending me products. So the things that I use are, like right now I don't have anything on the hair. I'm not doing that right now. I just finished washing my hair and I did an apogee treatment, so I haven't really sealed my hair yet. But the things that I use are very simple. The first thing I use for right now is I have this aloe vera. So I can get this aloe vera, and mostly I can get it in most places. Sometimes you can, and that's okay. I just use then probably water if I can't do that. So this will be the first layer. I would use this aloe vera, and then let's see. Then I would mix it with an oil, and I would probably put the two together, and that would be my first and second layers for my process. Now, the thing that I use that most people are probably going to gross you out is I use petroleum jelly. That's what I use. I used to use unpetroleum jelly, and there were two problems with it. Well, three. First, it was very expensive. Secondly, it was hard to get. And thirdly, my hair tended to develop an odor maybe 2 or 3 days later afterwards. So I seal the ends of my hair with petroleum jelly. So that is how I use it. Is this a truly emulsified product? I don't know. But this is what I use to seal my hair. And then I always use a baggie because this stuff is really, really greasy. And it's not something you do if you're going to have your hair straightened or pressed. But I just want to also let people know what I do, and I just use a very simple process. And again, most of this that I do is developed based upon needs and the fact that I needed to be autonomous and independent wherever I went, and I needed to be able to maintain my hair the way I felt comfortable with a minimum of stress and be able to focus on my job. So I just wanted to let you see what I use, and I know people use different things. So lastly, what I'd like to do is tell you thank you again for your time and attention. I hope this information has been helpful for you. And like I have said in the past, I hope that you continue to beautify yourselves and the world around you bit by bit. Thank you, and have a good day.